Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. Long time no see for many of you. Let's say hello and we'll get into it. Digger, I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. At least a year and a half, probably. But good to see you. Alexander, hello, hello. They do. I put it in World War III and tagged cheese. Because, yep, they're over Minnesota right now. I don't know. So, if we go down here and we look at their live broadcast, it says it's starting at 11:33. That would be on time for an 11:38:39 departure. However, they just changed this to 11 p.m. Eastern, which is already passed, if you didn't know. And oh, I forgot I'm in Discord. I'll mute. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. I've been refreshing like a crazy person to see if we're actually gonna get a launch or not. I don't know. We'll see. But what's up, man? What's up, Neo? What's up, Jacob Castro? Good to see you, buddy. Nandor, hello, hello. HT, hello. Me as well. This is not the heavy though. This is just a Falcon 9. So the heavy was scrubbed for tonight. Backup opportunities tomorrow, 8:14, one of these days. Thanks, buddy. I truly had a blast. Digger is a great co-host with that kind of stuff, and I just had fun talking to her. So, but yeah, so we're kind of in this waiting period. There was a tweet sent out that they have begun propellant loading, and that was 19 minutes ago. So if we look at our handy dandy little chart down here, 19 minutes ago, so we should be in the second stage of LOX loading, and that's where it would be game time. So we should get some kind of updated count here, and then we get into the engine chill and stuff like that. But we'll look at the profile on this mission. SpaceX is targeting Tuesday, December 12th for a Falcon 9 launch of 23 Starlink satellites to low Earth orbit from SLC-40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. As you can see, it's targeted for 25 minutes ago. Space Force Station launch locations. Map. I want a map. Somebody give me a fucking map. I'm the map. Wait. Don't listen to that. It's fake news. It's Wikipedia, but we'll deal with it. So here's 39A. Here's 40. SpaceX tends to go east. This is where it's going. Actually, they go kind of northeast, so it would be kind of this vicinity here. This is where the Falcon Heavy is currently parked with NASA's XB-37. So they don't like overflying anything at all, even close. So anything that could potentially do harm to their rocket, they are not a big fan of. And then I think QLA owns this launch pad now. But this is 40. This is where the Falcon 9 is going to go out of tonight. And this is 39A, just a little bit northwest. Should be far enough out of the way, but when rockets explode or go off target, it's pretty spectacular. So I can understand their concern. With that being said, just let them do it, NASA. Okay, so they changed this now. So now I feel much better. Liftoff is targeted for 11:39 p.m. Eastern, which was they already moved it back about a half an hour. But we're back on a time that makes sense with backup opportunities available until 2:58 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday, December 13th, if needed. Additional launch opportunities are also available Wednesday, December 13th, starting at 11:07 p.m. I think part of it, no, no. Anyways, so webcast will begin about 5 minutes prior to launch. So we're coming up close to that kind of time frame. This is the third flight of the first stage booster, so a brand new one, which previously launched Crew-7 and CRS-29. So Crew-7 was a commercial crew, and CRS-29 was a crew resupply mission. Following stage step, the first stage will land on A Shortfall of Gravitas, which will be stationed in the Atlantic Ocean. I think in part they were trying to coordinate so they could have one go off right after the other, because they've been trying to do that forever. And I think it would be really cool to see. But so we're about 5 minutes out, so we've already verified go for propellant load, began loading RP1, which is rocket grade kerosene, and liquid oxygen. We're past the second stage LOX loading begin, and we should be around that time where Falcon 9 begins engine chill. We'll see a bunch of things happen that aren't on the countdown, but things like strong back retract, that kind of thing. Then we'll see command flight computer take control at T-1, propellant take pressurization at T-1 minute. 45 seconds is go time. SpaceX Launch Director verifies go for launch. And at T-3 seconds, engine controller commands ignition sequence to start. T-0s, we're going to see a rocket tonight. I promise not that much, because as soon as I say that, it will go to terribly to hell. But we're going to hope and cross our fingers for a Falcon 9 liftoff and its successful flight. This is a mission profile, like I said. So we get launch, ascent, get stage separation right here. The first stage will do a flip, which will orient it back. Those big grid fins, huge grid fins. I'm obligated to show this picture every time. Mighty Meat Huge Hand in the lower left, big ass grid fin. Those are machined out of a single piece of titanium. They are large, they are in charge, and they're pretty spectacular. So why our grid fins are deploying and we're going through an entry burn, the fairings will separate, they'll float back to Earth. They will try to catch them in a net on a boat named Bob. And then the payload will continue to separate, deploying all 23 of the Starlink V2 satellites. After that, we'll have aerodynamic guidance, which will bring it back. It will communicate autonomously with the drone ship, and it will hopefully land on the drone ship and be brought back to Port Canaveral for reuse. T+1 minute and 12 seconds, max Q, or the maximum peak mechanical stresses on the rocket. Then we'll get the cutoff, and like I talked about, separation, fairing deployment, entry burn, landing burn, and landing. Starlink satellites are scheduled to depart 1 hour and 5 minutes into today's flight, and they stopped showing that because it's become pretty routine, which is not a bad thing. Everything still looks good weather-wise. Everything still looks decent from a launch perspective. Trying to see if they have any updates right this moment. I don't see any updates from SpaceX officially, so we'll probably still go. Weather's currently a go. Launch is currently a go. Yeah, so we're still looking good. We're still tracking for that 11:39 p.m. launch. So in about the next 60 seconds, we should see coverage from SpaceX, and we'll take you right over there. You have your answer right there from the one, the only Matt. I know. But there are new viewers sometimes, Matt. And sometimes I gotta orient them with the size, because they've seen my massive hands. Orientation of the size. And that just gives you an idea of how big this rocket is. I mean, it's a big boy. While we're waiting for SpaceX's coverage to fire up, it is 70 meters tall, or 229.6 feet. It is 3.7 meters in diameter, or 12 feet. And the mass is 1,207,920 pounds. It can carry 50,265 pounds to LEO. And payload to Mars, which is hella ambitious, 8,860 pounds. Hell no. Why do they call it Falcon 9? They call it Falcon 9 because it has 9 Merlin engines on the first stage. It has 1 sea level optimized vacuum engine on the second stage. Falcon 9 has 1.7 million pounds of thrust at sea level. And just like that, SpaceX comes through. Should be any moment. And we have a rocket.
Falcon 9 tanks are pressurizing for strong back retract.
Hell yeah. So like I said, that would be the first call out. We have that strong back retract. You see the clamps coming off the fairing. These all start out horizontally, and then they're lifted by that strong back to a vertical position for launch. They're held there in place by the strong back.
Strong back retract has started.
It goes back between 3 and 5 degrees until just about flight time. Then it goes back about 15 degrees. I am too, Matt. It's been so long. So in less than 5, we should get fun times. Hopefully. We are T-minus 4 minutes away. So there's not a whole lot that's happening on our side, but on their side, they're running all kinds of go-no-go polls. They're checking out systems. There's all kinds of pressurization and all kinds of readbacks. So this is not just wasted time. The team on the ground is doing a lot of work before they hand it over to the ship itself. As you can see, those frost rings, the fuel is cryogenic. The liquid oxygen, at least, is cryogenic. So it does have frost rings on the outside of that aluminum rocket body. And as that oxygen meets the warm Florida atmosphere, we get what I like to call puffy stuff. And yeah, it is puffy stuff.
Stage 1 POGO. Stage 1 LOX load is complete.
All right, we got a good call out for a LOX load complete. So it is full of liquid oxygen. So now we'll start seeing those umbilicals that supply it with its fuel and oxygen start retracting and purging so they don't catch on fire. Hey, Shenny, see you over on Brambles. I love my puffy stuff. So now we're about T-minus 2 minutes and 15 seconds. About T-minus 1 minute and 15 seconds when the party gets started. T minus 45 seconds is our major milestone where we'll get our final go no go poll. And it's like cotton candy. And you could eat it too, because it's
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
It doesn't, Eliza. How you doing, by the way? Just saw you. Hello.
Abort.
And we have an abort.
Launch abort is running.
Shit. So we'll see if they plan to recycle or if they're just calling it abort. Countdown hold. They can hold for, so there's a, it's not a simultaneous launch window, so they can hold if it is a minor issue. Historically, they have not. Historically, they'll just scrub and recycle, because then you can have issues with vehicles. And they're not going to take any chances, especially with their recent stellar launch record. I'm listening in to see if we can get any kind of indication. So that sounds like a depressed vent, but it's not. See, that also didn't sound like a depressed vent. I know. It should be. What the hell? That's weird. Just stopped. That's probably not a good sign. See if we have anything updated from SpaceX. What the hell? That's curious. Because their footage is reset. So it stopped at 6 minutes and 16 seconds, and it's just their footage is holding there as well. I'll wait till we get a good call out that it's not going to happen. But until then, we'll just kind of hang out. And SpaceX is called an abort. So we're not going to have a launch tonight, guys. That's concerning now, because that's what, 3 days in a row? So that's six rockets in a row? That's never a good thing. It's never a good thing. I'm trying to get official confirmation from SpaceX. A bunch of people are reporting that it was a scrub, but I haven't seen an official update from SpaceX. So let's see if we can get one over here before we call it. See, they still have it going. They still have 11:30, so we still have the same time over here. And I'm not seeing any updates from SpaceX official, nothing from the Elonists. All right, let me see. not hearing anything radio-wise, so that hasn't officially happened yet. While I'm looking around,
and welcome back to our
enjoy.
broadcast for our 29th Starlink mission. If you're just joining us, we had a successful liftoff from Cape Canaveral Space Force Station at 2:59 p.m. Eastern Time. Then
This is
successful stage
Starlink
separation.
deploy.
Recovered our first stage for the
What it
second
looks like.
time on our drone ship named Just Read the Instructions, and had two
That's
successful
what I'm
second
saying.
stage
Fucking
Merlin
send it.
vacuum engine startups. So we had some video shots there of the second stage. We're
Half
awaiting
of them
our
have
next
been
major event,
NASA.
which will be payload deployment of the Starlink satellites. Over the last coast phase, we've started to spin the second stage a little bit. You can actually see maybe the sun might pop into frame there. And that's to help those Starlink satellites space themselves out after payload deployment. And here's a shot of the top of the second stage camera looking out at the Starlink satellites.
They're still in a hold.
So coming up, payload deployment.
For now, officially. Because a lot of these problems they can work through on the fly. Like they can certainly. So you see how that rod comes loose?
Confirmed.
It's very rudimentary the way that they're held in place.
So that's confirmation of payload deployment. You saw the mechanism separating away, and now the Starlink satellites starting to make their way away from the second stage. Shortly, they will deploy their solar array. Wow, that's a beautiful shot of Earthrise in the background. But shortly, they will deploy their solar array, and then over the next few days and weeks, they'll start to distance themselves out. They've got onboard ion thrusters, and that'll help them make their way into their final operational orbit.
And with that successful deployment of our satellites, we'll bring today's webcast to a close. Thank you to the Range and Federal Aviation Administration for supporting today's mission. And of course, thank you to all of our viewers and all of our Starlink customers using our beta service at this time. If you're interested in being a part of our beta.
All right. So just refreshed. So they're still in a hold. There's still an opportunity. Like I said, there's a launch window that's open all the way until 2:58 a.m. Eastern. So they could technically recycle it. Obviously, we're not going to stay here till 3, but might as well stay for another minute. They still have the stream up. It's not, they're not actively streaming anything right now. But the stream is still up, which is usually an indication that they still have some intention of going. No official word from anything yet. So we shall see. I'm looking. So we have a favorability rating of 40% for tomorrow's launch of USSF 52, which is not great. So that might become a factor tomorrow. Just looking at the Falcon Heavy. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right, Space Launch Delta. Let's see what Space Launch Delta has. Ba-ba-ba. Oh, they changed its trajectory on the. That's why we're getting. That's why we almost got a Starlink launch, because they changed it to a southerly trajectory. So that's interesting from Space Launch Delta, which is the United States Space Force. They do range weather and that kind of thing. So let's see. I'm still holding out hope, y'all. It's fading fast, but I'm still holding out hope. Let's see. Nope. Still nothing. That's interesting because usually at least they update. They give some kind of update. Let's see what the other guys are doing. See if there's any kind of information. I'm also confused. So there was a hold at T-minus 1 minute and 45 seconds. The other individuals covering it are saying that it's a scrub. SpaceX hasn't acknowledged a scrub. SpaceX is still just saying hold. So we're trying to figure out if there's going to be a rocket launch because they've already canceled the Falcon Heavy for this evening. So we're just waiting around to see what the hell's going on. Okay, and there's the official call out. So it was a scrub. Let's see if they updated it. Yep. So officially a scrub from SpaceX. So now we can go back and wait for tomorrow again. So, all right. Well, you heard it. Scrub. See, I was going to make a graphic for scrub, but then I figured that it would happen. So I tried really hard not to. God, that sucks. I just want to see a rocket, damn it. See, they still have it here officially, though. I'd like some kind of confirmation on one of the websites. Anyways, when are they going to launch the Falcon Heavy? So tomorrow at 8:14 p.m. Eastern is the next launch opportunity. They actually changed trajectory from a northeast to a southerly trajectory on this Falcon 9, so they could launch it this evening. And then it appears that this was scrubbed. Anyways, so I have no idea. I have no idea why we're not going. Well, I have no idea why they haven't updated anything. Usually they're pretty damn quick about it, but it's still, everything's still up, which is unusual. But, you know, if they come back on, I'll be back on. So I think we'll call it right here. Hopefully we'll get 2 launches tomorrow and it will make up for it and it'll be awesome. But that's going to be it for me tonight, everyone. Hope you guys have a good night and I will catch you guys tomorrow for hopefully 2 space flights. Fingers crossed. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.